Hey guys, Nick Adamo here, CEO of Bullion. Want to go over my collecting strategy, and I think a strategy that could help you when collecting rare coins. Now, there's a variety of different coins you could choose from. Many that the US Mint has made, from silver dollars to gold pieces, $20 gold pieces, two and a halves, fives, tens, you name it. So first, choose the series that you want to collect. So for instance, I'm going to start with here the $20 St. Gaudens that was minted in 1907 to 1933. Now, if I was to collect this series and put a whole set together, number one, just know that this set is going to be incredibly expensive to put together, even, of course, in lower grades. So make sure that, of course, you have the budget for that set before starting it, because the last thing you want to do is start the collection and then you realize you can't afford the whole collection, or it's something that's just not practical. So, but say you wanted to collect the St. Gaudens coins. Now, say we were just putting together a set, we wanted to put together one of each date every year. So there's different mint marks. You can collect all the different mint marks. You could collect just the different dates. So you have to choose how you want to collect. However, say I was going to do one of each date. So now it comes the time that I want to collect the 1928, which is a common date in the series, around 8.8 million minted. But for these purposes, it's fine. So what I want to do is collect the highest grade possible and the best quality coin before the huge price jump. So for instance, with this coin, as we can see, there's not tremendous variation between the 65 grade, a 65 plus, a 66, about $1,000. However, if you look here, this is where it gets interesting. A 66 plus is around $6,500 price guide, but just a half a grade higher, the coin jumps to 20,000, and then in a 67 plus, 100,000 plus. So my objective is, if I could afford it, and I was putting together one of each date, I would aim to buy the 66 plus. Why? Well, the reason is that it's a very limited population, only around 333 coins. There's, of course, a lower population in the 67, which makes sense. The higher the grade, the less there will be in the higher grades, typically. However, this is the most affordable coin and the highest quality and grade possible before this big price jump to $20,000. So at $20,000, this might actually count out a lot of different collectors. Whereas this one, even though expensive at $6,500 maybe for the average person, this is much more affordable than, of course, the 67 grade or the 67 plus. And there's not a huge difference in population. And the fact of the matter is, the coin is going to look very similar to 67. So the eye appeal, the quality of the coin, the overall coin itself will look very similar to the 67. So by doing this, I'm putting together basically the best set possible for the most affordable price point before this big price jump. Now, why does it make sense to spend a couple extra bucks to get the 66 plus, say, versus the 65 plus or 65? The price, of course, jumps, but not substantially like it would from 66 plus to 67. So think of it this way. When a collector's looking to buy the best of the best, which typically collectors like to, if they can afford it, people got to look and go, well, if I could buy a 66 plus that looks just like a 67 for about almost 3.5 times less the price, why would I not just buy the 66 plus? It's almost just as good as the 67, and I'm saving a boatload of money that I could spend on other coins. And you're going to have more collectors who could afford that $6,500 versus $20,000. Let's look at another example. So if I was to go to pcgs.com, right, say I want to go to price guide. I want to go to, let's look at silver dollars. Let's go to the Morgan dollars. Now, here's the price, guys, as you can see from a glance. You can see, like I said, the different prices and how they jump. So here's a good example. That's a DMPL. Let's switch to a different one that's more of a regular strike and finish. All right, let's check here. Keep scrolling, keep scrolling. Okay, let's see. We might have found a piece here we can go off of. Okay, great. So let's look at a 79cc. which is a key date in the series, one of the rarest in the series of the Carson City Morgans. Of course, the 89cc being the most sought after, followed by the 79cc and the 93cc. Okay, so let's look at the differentials in pricing, right? Okay, so if you were collecting this 79cc Morgan Silver Dollar and you had the money to spend, you would say, okay, well, if I'm following this strategy, I like to buy the highest grade possible, the best quality before the big price jump. Well, let's see where the price really jumps. Not much of a difference between a 63, 63 plus, 64. I mean, thousands of dollars, but nothing incredibly substantial that jumps out at you, right? However, say you had the money. You really had the money and you wanted to buy a killer 79cc. You look at a 65 grade, that'd be probably your target. Because the 65 grade's around 27,000, but in a 66, just one grade higher, I mean you're jumping 5 times the price to 125,000. And the 65 and the 66, there's not going to be a substantial difference in eye appeal. So you want to look for a really nice coin that fits your collection in a 65 grade. And then in a 66, right, the next grade higher jumps substantially. Now, there's only 109 coins in existence in a 65. In a 66, you can see there's much fewer, only 4. So this would be my strategy if I had the money. Buy the 65 grade. The 65 plus even jumps to 48,000 almost, so I think I would still stick with the 65 grade. Now, this, like I said, goes for cheaper coins as well. And one of the most important things when collecting, when you're doing something like this, is to map out what you're looking to collect. So if you're looking to collect $20 St. Gaudens and you realize that some of these dates, the highest grade possible before the big price jump is going to be $20,000, $30,000 a coin, then, and that's not something you could afford, then make sure that you collect something that you could finish. Because the worst thing is going through the whole collection, putting it together, and then realizing, oh my God, this key date coin I can't afford, and maybe I never could afford it, and that's fine. But you're much better off putting together a set or a strategy to put together a set that is within your budget. So that's the first thing I would look at when putting together a set, right? I would try to buy the highest grade possible before the huge price jumps, just as we showed you here. I would also like to say, how am I going to collect this set? Am I going to put together one of each date? Am I going to put together every date and every mint mark? Do I want to just put together one of every mint mark? Some people do that. Like, for instance, the Morgan Silver Dollars, a cool, affordable set could be just putting together a mint mark set, where you get one Carson City, one Denver, one New Orleans coin, one San Francisco, and one Philadelphia. One from every mint. Very affordable. You could put one together in the highest grade possible before the big price jumps and still accomplish a similar strategy here. So you need to, when putting together a collection, decide what your budget's going to be. You need to decide what series do you like and want to collect, and then look at the pricing of the coins. A great way to look at that is NGC, PCGS price guides for the dates and the mint marks to see what roughly they go for, or the Red Book. And this information is all free. Red Book probably costs you about $15-20, so very minimal investment in your education to be able to collect properly. And then once you decide what coin collection, what kind of coin you want to collect and what series and how you want to collect it, whether it be a date set, a mint set, or everything, the whole series, then say what price point can I afford, and then, like I said, buy the highest grade possible before those big price jumps. So hopefully this helped, guys. This is how I collect my coins, my classic coins for that matter. I buy the best coin I possibly can that I could afford before a big price jump. And I put together my strategy beforehand of collecting, knowing what my budget is, what the coins actually go for that I'm going to have to be buying to complete the collection, and I go from there. And the nice thing is there's no time limit to collecting. You can put these together as quickly or as long as it takes you to put these sets together. There's no right or wrong way to collect. However, like I said, have a good game plan before you start. Till next time, guys.